concept of reality isn't a place to be escaping from. It's an area of awareness that allows true and unfiltered expression of self. Internal realism is the definite space where the mind reaches the depths of one's own identifying characteristics. To be without self would be death, ego death. It is truly invaluable to disregard the power of being yourself. But what does it actually mean to be yourself? Before we answer that, let's take a look at what being yourself doesn't look like. Being yourself doesn't look like doing it just because they are. It doesn't look like keeping bad company around, like people who impede instead of supporting your growth. It doesn't look like giving up on your dreams and allowing limiting opinions to have an effect on you, or becoming too wrapped up in today's world that's full of distractions instead of passionately expressing yourself. And it most definitely doesn't look like trying to be something you're not, or forsaking your core beliefs just for the sake of pleasing others. Now that we have a better understanding of what being yourself doesn't look like, I can help you answer the question by showing you what it does look like. To be yourself is to express your identity in fullness and truth. This means living in a way that unapologetically expresses who you truly are. And it looks like being rooted in self-alignment. When you're standing firm in your core beliefs and not letting the noise of the outside world drown out the voice within. This looks like believing in yourself and in your dreams, trusting that the ambitions and plans placed in your heart weren't done at random, and that in due time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. Alright, so now that we've unpacked what being yourself really looks and feels like, we can go ahead and take a close look at some people who actually walked it out. And first up, we have Tyler the Creator! Tyler has always been someone who embraces his weirdness and rejects mainstream boxes and creates an entire new world between music, fashion, and storytelling. And it's all built around his truth and him being himself. When you can express yourself with that much artistic authenticity, it's bound to inspire others to embrace their own uniqueness and challenge the norm and to ultimately evolve to the best version of themselves. And Tyler hasn't just shown us what it means to be different, he shows us that being different is the standard when you're being true and authentic to who you are. Even from his early days with Odd Future to now, Tyler has always been about owning who he is, no matter how loud, colorful, or unexpected the expression may be.
I just make stuff I like at the time, and it's shown in my work. So whether it's shown in my work through sound or through cloth or through visual stuff, because I'm just, that's what it is, so.
Right. It's basically like your lifestyle translated into your art.
Pretty much. At least that shows I'm not a liar.
And while Tyler the Creator shows us what bold artistic authenticity looks like, then it's definitely
Jean-Michel Basquiat,
who has expressed himself through fearless creative rebellion, layering black identity and street culture with history and fine art with raw
artistic flow. And while most artists will never approach anything close to his once-in-a-generation talent, there are a few things you can learn from it
when it comes to expressing a fearless identity that's loud, raw, and extremely unique. From anonymous street graffiti artist to international art icon, Jean-Michel Basquiat became one of the most impactful
cultural wonders of the 1980s.
His work would almost burst through gallery walls, bringing a raw and unfiltered voice that the art world had never seen before. Basquiat's signature style blended symbolism, bold line work, and layers of meaning, with references to anatomy, jazz, history, African American heritage, and his own black identity. But it wasn't just his technique that made Basquiat's artwork so powerful. It was the fearless expression of self that he portrayed, with each piece being a declaration of his existence, equally loud, poetic, and unapologetically themselves. And where Basquiat challenged norms with a brush, Muhammad Ali did it with his voice, his fists, and his faith.
Muhammad Ali
was more than just a boxer. He was the embodiment of conviction, someone who stood tall for what he believed in even when the world turned its back on him. And that's because Ali's fight wasn't just about winning the heavyweight title. It was about owning his identity with courage that transcends the ring. And Ali's courage went far beyond just footwork or a fast jab. That's because in 1967, he refused to be drafted into the Vietnam War. This decision not only cost him his heavyweight title, but millions in earnings, and also being banned from the sport for 3 consecutive years. But those repercussions didn't make Ali flinch. That's because to him, the price of compromising his values was much higher than any title could hold. Ali's legacy is one of standing firm in his faith and in his core beliefs, even when the world pushes back. He used his platform not only just for personal gain, but to challenge injustice, redefine what it meant to be a champion, and to elevate the voices of those who couldn't speak for themselves. Although he wasn't perfect, he was present, and he knew exactly who he was. That brings us to the truth about it all. If we're really being honest, in today's world, it's easier to lose yourself trying to be something or somebody you're not. And social media hasn't made that concept any easier. Terms like doom scrolling, brain rot, main character syndrome are terms that have been coined in a generation of distractions. A generation where overstimulation has become the norm and stillness feels foreign. Where it's easier to perform than to reflect. Easier to scroll than to sit with your own thoughts. These habits slowly pull you away from who you were created to become. And the scariest part, you might not even notice it happening. Day by day, your identity keeps getting chipped away from comparison, from pressure, and from pretending to be someone you're not. Until one day, you wake up feeling like a stranger in your own body. All of this has truly transformed our generation into one of the most overstimulated, yet emotionally disconnected in history. But here's the truth. Being yourself. That's it, that's the secret. That's how you actually start seeing growth. That's when passion and expression of life change forever. Because in that moment, when doubt dies, vision clears, and truth rises, not a force on earth can stop what God has planned for you.